Hello and welcome to the channel. It's me, your girl Peter Editor, again with another video. Men, can you show women some grace? I just want to start at a high note. Can you show your wives grace? So it's so fascinating how you find something like this. I mean, tell me why. I came across this statement on one of my friend's status where it was said that married men, to be exact, should get uniforms because their wedding rings are no longer working for them. These men are cheating everywhere. They have rings, but those rings mean nothing. And as a married woman, I was like, so what is marriage all about? If someone marries you just to cheat on you? And it led me to having this conversation. I want to share with you the story in the Bible. You see, from the very beginning, God created a woman for a man. But in the same way, the man slept and the wife went, Eve went wandering in the garden and ended up meeting the serpent who lied to her. And that's when the fall of man started. And she came back to her husband. He ate up himself. And when Jesus came and was like, yo, why are you guys hiding from me? They were like, we're naked. But when he was asked what happened, the first thing Adam did was point out the mistake that Eve had done. And right now, that is what is happening. There's just a lot of the blame game going on. Men blame women. Oh, I cheated because she did this, I did this. Because they have failed to understand, you first have to be a leader. Women are craving for leadership. Women are craving for guidance. Women are craving for men who are going to stand for the right thing, and that is marriage. Today, men are outside there cheating, doing the worst of things, and expect their wives to just sit and watch. And now, because of that, women are changing. Women are becoming beasts. There's just a lot of things happening. And they say when the elephants are fighting, the grass always suffers, and those are the kids. You see, most of us right now are a generation that was born out of infidelity, out of heart. We saw things that we're not supposed to see as kids. And now, the things that we are going through is translating and is being carried to our children. God just revealed this to me. You see, David loved God so much. He's called the man after God's heart. But one thing about David was that David killed Uriah for his wife. Man, from the beginning, you guys were creating havoc. He killed Uriah and took his wife. And one thing I've learned from this story is that every time you do something wrong, when you sin, there is a repercussion. The first child died, and then they had Solomon. And because, Solomon was loved, and for some reason he got wisdom from his mom, he was bright enough to ask God for wisdom when he was asked what he wanted. But I want to tell you, there's one thing that is so evident in his actions that is just connected to lineage, is that his father had women, a little bit of, them. But this boy had a bunch. He had thousands of wives. And let me tell you, there is no way it's not connected to his father's infidelity. Most times when you're cheating, people have the audacity, men have the audacity now to cheat in front of their children. When you cheat and your children are seeing, they are going to learn from you. And that is a seed you have planted already. Solomon got women more than his father actually had. And it just continued. The Bible tells us that God was so angry at him because all these women came with their gods. And he started to drift away from the original plan of God. And God said, because of your father David, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to tear your kingdom. But your son, definitely, he had a son called Rehoboam, had to pay for that. It said that Rehoboam became king, but the kingdom got split. Because from having a father who had wisdom, he had a foolish son. He had a foolish son who was lied to. He had the wrong people around him. And the kingdom was split. And do you know who actually replaced him and became king? This guy was called Jeroboam. He was Solomon's servant. And that is what is happening in this generation. Men think that, oh, I'm just sleeping with this woman, doing and having kids there and here. They think that's a good thing. But no, these kids are going to pay for your sins. I don't know how to stress this, but men need to go back to understand that our actions always reciprocate. Today, there are things that we are fighting, just even in our generation, that our parents should have fought for us. So what am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say, can you have the mindset that whatever you're doing right now, if you're not being a good father, good husband, you see this, seeing that. And just even think about this time, the way when you go and you're sleeping around with different women. I want you to think about if that was your daughter being wasted or treated the way you're treating this other woman. Right now, women are wounded. There is a beast in a woman right now. Women don't care anymore. And what makes it worse is that right now, women are working so hard to be independent that there's a narrative where women are like, I can be okay without a man. I don't need a man. And that is wrong, because we need a man. The original plan that God had for marriage was for a wife to be with a husband, the husband to be the head of the wife, the husband to love his wife. And to love your wife means that you need to sacrifice. You die to yourself, just like Christ died for the church. And it's easy to submit to a man who loves you, who cares for you. A man who loves you commands respect naturally. It just comes, it's easy to respect him. It's easy to submit to him. Women nowadays are not respectful. Some, I'm not saying all, just like I'm going to make it clear that not all men are bad. I am a true believer of good men being in this world. There's so many good men, but it's just because of the few men. They say one frog spoils all the water. So now we have a challenge that women think they can be independent. They don't need a man. And with the gender equality right now that is, right now going on, you find that women can do what men can do, and men are left disorganized. They're confused, and they think women are taking over, and they feel threatened. But that's not the thing. When you get a woman who is loved, cared for, rich she is, and this man still understands his role as a man, it's easy always for these women to submit to them. But now it's like it's said that marriage benefits men more than it benefits women. And ask me why I would think so too, because most times, even back in the days when a man is married, oh God, his status was like he's a married man. He needed his wife emotionally. Or the woman cooked, the woman did all the chores. Yes, he went and looked for food and all that, but the woman gives him children. Whereas for women, most times you're faced with health issues. When you give birth, every time a woman gives birth, her life is deteriorating, and most times back then, women were so dependent on their husbands for finances and just to be taken care of. But right now in this evolution, women are working so hard to make sure they have their own money, so that if it's time to exit, they're exiting. It's so funny. For me, myself, I remember when I just got married to my husband, I didn't have a job for like some time. And I was like, how am I going to be in this house and not have a job? Because if anything happens, I need to be stable. It's like women are already exiting marriage while still in the marriage, because it's like they're always prepared for what is happening. Whereas some women are just ready to study, have a job, and submit to the right man, to the good man, to a man who stands in the gap, who is not threatened by her. Right now, some men tell their wives to stay at home because they are threatened. It's like women, when they were growing up, they were told that, oh, you have to be a wife, you have to be hardworking, you have to, clean, do this. Women were enabled from the very start. And men, you were told that, oh, you're supposed to be serving, you're supposed to be the provider and all that. But now the men of this generation have failed to be providers. They have failed to be the men that they were called to be. And women are becoming all that men are supposed to be. Let's give an example. You're a man. You're supposed to provide. You're supposed to, head your family. But you have failed to do that. And you're married to a woman who can provide, who is heading the family, who is raising the children the right way. You find in such a home, the man feels threatened. He feels threatened. Yet in actual sense, even in it, there is a unique, you guys are still unique. You guys are still unique. It doesn't mean because your wife is earning and you're not, that it creates a difference. No. The fact that you're not a provider or you can't provide at that point doesn't mean that you can't be a husband, a loving, kind husband. A husband will help your children with kids where need be. Why are men getting threatened? Back then, women were economically trapped. Women depended on their husbands for finances. Right now, it's not really the thing. And men need women. That's one thing men have to agree. It's the thing, there's a belief that women need men, but actually men need women, because the way you're created to be providers, you're created to be husbands, and you hold your family together. And sometimes you need your wife to be like, oh babe, can you help me with this? Can you, I need help. Like, you want your wife to need you, because if she doesn't need you, then what? You were created to do the things. It's in you. That's why you see when a man has no job and is at home, he feels useless. He feels like he can't do anything. And now with that, because men think that, oh, me, I can't wash plates, I can't help clean the house, they be like, me, I'm just sitting, me, I need a job, my work is to provide. And now, instead of still feeling useful in the house, you refuse to do nothing. Your wife comes back home tired, starts washing plates, starts cleaning the house, and now she's pissed, she's mad, you people are fighting, you people are now screaming at each other. She's like, but I'm doing everything. And by her saying that, you feel threatened. And it's going to break our homes. Men, you're supposed to be men. And to be a man, to be a husband, a father, is just to love. Is even if you're just going to advise, even if you just stand in the gap where you need it to stand in the gap. Men are emotionally dependent on women. You don't even realize that. And whereas we depended on you financially, most of the women right now can build for themselves, can do anything they want for themselves. And whereas saying that a woman can do whatever she wants now because she's economically stable is good, she's no longer trapped. A woman can actually now make a choice to either have kids or not, get married or not. She has that freedom because she has the finances to do that. It's also dangerous. Because why? Men have failed to just tell them, babe, you are good at everything you're doing. And I love you and I'm going to support you. I'm going to carry you through this. Instead, they're like, oh girl, come back and stay home. I don't want to see you working. You're chatting with men. And now the woman's like, uh-oh, so you're threatened by who I'm becoming? I'm packing. It said that the rate that divorce right now, it's women who are asking for divorce more than men. Because they know they can go out there and start a life without a man. Women are asking for divorce more than, maybe in Africa it might not be that much, but in the Western world, women are asking for divorce so much because, why would they stay in a broken home? if I can take care of myself and be happy. And besides that, most of the times the kids are taken away. If you even have chance to remain with your kids, it's by God's grace. Men, come back and identify with who you are called to be. Love your wives, support your wives. You're not going to sleep with every woman you see in this world. Some of you are old and you're sleeping with girls who are literally your daughters. I know there are girls who are out there. Maybe some of us were victims. You ended up with someone who was married, but when you know that a guy is married, leave him, girl. And most of them, they will never accept that they're married. Just run for your life. Men, you are unique. You can never be replaced. You can never be replaced. To every woman who is saying that I can do without a man, most of them are coming from a place of heart. But you're unique. There's no woman who would not want her husband or her man to open their car for her. Women want to be honest, vulnerable. We want to be babies with you. A woman wants to go be a boss out there and come back to her husband and be a baby. But it depends on how you're treating her. So I was listening to a story that this man decided he wants to punish his wife. And he told her, go pack your things and go to your father's house. He chased her. And she didn't go back home. She went to her friend's place, and the next thing he had, she was renting a place for herself. And now he called the family and was like, is your daughter with you guys? Because he expected them to come and beg. They were like, no, she's not staying at her own place. And he's like, what happened? He was like, but for me, when my sister was chased, I went to beg these people. They came, they begged us, and we allowed my sister to go. He thought the same would happen. No. Nowadays, some women, you chase them, they're like, oh, thank Jesus. That's why you have to use wisdom. There are so many channels that you can have wisdom as men. Read the Bible. The Bible tells us everything. Read the Bible. It's going to talk to you about Samson. Samson was everything, strong, handsome, but it just took one woman to break him into pieces. And he died begging God for mercy. You are special. You are kings. Oh my God. You are kings. You are the representatives of God in this world. But the devil is using you. You guys are just the ones used. Right now, men, you're used and you don't know that you're the guys who are being used. Because right now there are broken women. You're like, oh man, I'm going to cheat on my wife with this, banker or what. You find that banker is going to dictate. She's like, okay, you want to be with me? I don't want to get married. I don't want to be, have kids. So if you just want to be with me, we can just have sex and that's all. And for you, like, oh yes, I made it. No, she's using you. She's benefiting. And you live, instead of nurturing your home, you're leaving your home, and now because you're cheating, your home is breaking, and even here you're not actually loved. You have created women who are angry. Just like that story I was telling you. He thought the woman would come begging. No, she didn't. She didn't beg. She continued with her life. And now he's like, oh, I want my wife back. I want my wife back. She doesn't give a damn. The user is being used. And let me tell you, the devil is I feel like he has a cocktail and is just like enjoying it, and is like, okay, let's watch the drama. God creates you first, puts you on earth, and tells you, I'm going to create you a helper. And I want you to love her. You even name her and call her woman, the one for my bones. And now you're treating her like trash. God. The enemy is having fun. Remember, he hates marriage. You're going ahead sleeping with different girls and all that. They might not be your children. They might not be your daughters, but that's the seed of man. The Bible says that the seed of a woman will crush the head of a serpent. A woman cannot have kids without you. But now it's like you're the ones crushing the heads of your daughters. You've turned these women into something else. I had another story of a lady. She was saying that a guy came to her, it was on TikTok, and said, I want a woman with a pharmacist. I want a pharmacist. I want to marry a pharmacist. Because now men don't marry for love. They marry you because, oh, you have a career. You're okay. Okay, 50-50. Okay. He went, he gets a pharmacist. Brings her home, marries her. She has 3 children, opens a pharmacy and says, sit there. That's what you're going to be doing. She works, he gets the money. She really doesn't get that much. And now this woman is angry. She feels like tearing him apart. What does she do? She starts planning to leave him with his children. And that kind of woman, when she goes out there, she's hard. If she ever met another man, she's going to destroy him too. Or she'll just be wasted. There's so many women who are wasted. There's so many women who have lost purpose. There's so many women who have been just left confused because where did I go wrong? I did all that I could as a wife. Where did I go wrong? I still got cheated on. I still got beaten. And now with the revolution of women that is coming, they don't care. Women are working hard. Even fathers themselves say, go to school, study, have your own money. But I feel like those parents are saying, so that, for us men, so that when things go wrong, so we run. It's no longer love. Men are marrying women because of what they can bring, which is okay. But you see, when you say 50-50, men, you're becoming reluctant because a woman can bring 100%. But 50-50 is not just the finances, like you people make it be. 50-50 is when you're emotionally at a 10 and she's in her 70, she can pour into you. When you fall sick and you can't walk and she has to clean you up. And that means she's like in her sickest and you're in your 30. That is 50-50. When it comes to 50-50, it's everything. That's why you see now there is no love in marriage. Marriage has become business. And when your relationship is tested now in marriage, you find that it can easily break because you married this woman because she could provide for the family. You married this man because he was a provider, or there was something you're getting out of the relationship. So when now they can't do that, they're useless to you because this relationship was not based on love. But sometimes when you love someone, you bring them into your life and you're ready to grow with them. You're ready to help them, lift them up. So the whole idea is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. As long as we have each other, we can do everything. But right now, that's not there. It's actually said that the rate at which men are committing suicide is so high because they're beginning to feel not needed. And there was a broadcast I was listening to, and this man said that most of these men, in their letters say, I feel useless. I feel I'm not needed. I feel you can do better than, do better without me. And because now women are beginning to just be able to do the things, they're no longer trapped. You find that the devil is making it easy, or not even just the devil. It's now becoming like, I can't be married to you and you're hurting me. I'm ready to be on my own. And what that is doing is that men are beginning to feel like they're not needed, they're useless. And they say men actually can't survive divorce. Most men really don't survive divorce easily because most times they hop into the next woman. It's a 50-50 that woman is going to be good to them too, because like I said, when you damage a woman, you're leading to another damaged woman. So even when you leave this one, you might end up with the wrong one again, or you might leave the good one and end up with the wrong one. So it's just me humbly saying that, man, remember who you are. The people that God has given them a mandate to carry everyone. And yes, like I always tell my husband, I see you, baby. It's tiring. I am going to be here right beside you. My father in the Lord likes saying, women are not supposed to be behind. They're supposed to be besides. And we are intelligent. We are intelligent people. As long as you learn to just cultivate your wife, build her, talk to her, teach her, walk with her, you would see how that woman is going to evolve beautifully, and you're not going to be threatened by what she's becoming, but you're going to see that, oh, I contributed to that, and she will still respect and love you. So I want to end this video by saying that there are broadcasts. I can recommend you this one called that husband. There are sermons, there are books to read on marriage. Women are always told, oh, do this, learn how to do this. There are broadcasts, there are fellowships on how a woman should be the wife and the mother, but men actually don't get that. That's why men are stuck on the don'ts. I don't do this, I don't do this. Whereas women is like, oh, I can do this, I can do this. So now when women are getting elevated and they can do everything you're doing, you're beginning to rant. Yes, here maybe some of us are not committing suicide, but outside there are men who are breaking. Men are becoming soft. It takes a good man to see good in his wife. And whereas you go out there and just throw your seed everywhere, just like the story I told you of David, he was loved by God. But if you see the story, as generations continued, his lineage just got destroyed. And yes, I know we don't care about generations, it's about now, but I think we need to start caring. Because just like you're the generation of the other, maybe grandfather of yours who did what, and today there are families where their boys is like, for us, we love women, we love brown ones. Those are the ones we want, and they're just there. Nowadays, I want you to know, women can marry you for what you have to. And I want to tell you, they are good men. I've also come across men who are like, why would I marry two women? Because they know the weight. Just handling one takes a lot of energy, a lot of you being a man of God. And whereas some of us are saying, oh, these women are so many. There's so many. Who will marry this and who will marry this? I want to tell you, believe me, not all these women actually really want to get married. Some of them are just okay now. So just focus, go back to the word of God and understand who really you are. Because I want to tell you, when you love your woman right, I want to end by saying this. There is nothing that woman cannot give you. We are naturals. But the moment you don't love a woman right, back then, you would do whatever you want. Our fathers would do whatever they want. But now, you'll be the one to lose. I can give an example of Davido. Davido, the musician, he has children everywhere, but right now they're suing him everywhere. Woman is suing him for not taking care of his children. I want to tell you, and he's married, and he's all over social media. This kid will grow to see that. Let's talk about this actor called Edoch, who left his wife for another woman, and now she went to court. This woman did nothing. Even in court, they said she did nothing. And let me tell you, she's doing well. She's doing good. And now he's confused. He wants her back, but he can't have her. Her level is like up here now. She doesn't need you anymore. And I just pray that we don't reach that level, because I feel like the evolution is just continuing. But until men who know God, who understand who they are called to be, rise up, those are the only men who are going to secure their generations. So just like Rehoboam had the wrong company that advised him wrongly, men, stay away from the wrong people. Stay away from men who find pleasure and say, oh, I have 5, I have 6 women. Believe me, it's not easy. Because whether you want it or not, you're called to be the men who provide, who are spiritually standing. Women want me, my husband knows. Like, it turns me on when he's praying in tongues. It takes me to another place in the spirit. We want spiritual leaders. Men are not spiritual leaders. They're like, oh, the woman should be it's women packed in church praying. And that's why God is elevating women every day. Yet you are the ones to be the spiritual heads of your families, emotionally. So I want to end this video by saying be blessed. I hope this video blesses you. Please don't forget to comment and like below. If you want to ask questions, you can ask anything. Like this video and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Shalom.